Welcome to Java. It is November 6th, 2024. It is Wednesday and also the day after the election. So, had a very decided election, which is very good for the markets. Basically, it does not like contention. We've got quite a few things to go as far as the effects with that. Very positive. At the moment, we've got an overall rally in the markets. So, with this, we're going to look at some specifics as well as a little bit more globally, what we can look forward to after this, and some certain moves that you might want to start looking at taking now. Basically, we've got a second opportunity here. So with this, let's start into the markets. Now, our favorite risk indicator at the moment is down. That's the MMRI. So we have to resort to a classic method of looking at basically the 10-year yield, relative strength of the dollar. Now, these are both up significantly along with everything else for the most part. So with these, we've got a risk will start rising as these two go in because we're going to watch valuations change as well. Now, the 10-year yield is up, basically money moving out of the debt market into the stock market, cryptocurrencies, because it is risk on. Now, with this, we've got the fear greed meter right now still in fear territory, but I expect that to move up. We're going to hit some serious greed as this opens and retailers jumping back into the markets. Now, this being said, we've got Bitcoin up actually. As of doing this, it did this much earlier. It's right about 75,000 at the moment. So cryptocurrencies are rallying. So with this, we've got stocks also rallying a significant amount, and the futures in agreement that this will continue. Now, in general, markets tend to overreact when they have a catalyst, this major catalyst. So we've got the volatility index or fear meter in the market down. We've got gold under slight pressure. Now, this is interesting because it's basically still holding. Now, as the dollar is rallying magnificently, gold should be under more pressure. Now, this is just showing that it is much more of a stable asset and the direction we're going to head, which is more inflation. Now, all of this down the road, more inflation. We've got oil under pressure, silver under a bit of pressure as well. However, it's still basically holding quite well also. So we've got the relative strength of the dollar keeping gains as we have a victory here. Now, this is basically on a geopolitical view, basically, that the currency now will have more strength than the others. However, we've got the Federal Reserve on deck, and as they continue cuts, it will weaken the dollar. So as we go forward, there will still continue to be massive inflation. So with this, I just want to point out just this little fun poke at Mr. Kramer here, that they had predicted the other party and wrong again. So anyway, we've got the global leaders now congratulating on his election win, saying this is a much needed victory for the world. This is quote by the Hungarian Prime Minister, Viktor Orban. So basically, there are a lot of tensions that are easing on this globally. We've also got, interestingly, Russian stocks surging on a likely victory. Now, why would this happen? This is basically because it is, again, tensions decreasing, where they can see if these wars will go down, basically the markets can rally a bit. But again, that is another basically inflationary trade. So the sentiment right now, we've got everything gone green, up and to the right. And I would like to say that don't feel poorly if you missed out on this. If you were out of this, that is okay, because the probabilities were for a contentious election, basically meaning we wouldn't find the winner for days, possibly even longer. So the probabilities were against this happening, as it were. So if you set this one out, there is always another trade. Don't worry about it. There's always another trade. So the market right now in a sugar rush. They do love a clear winner, even if it had been the other one, as long as there's not a lot of, basically, as I said, contention or recounts, all of this. So we've got the Fed on deck. They started their 2-day meeting today, but we won't hear until them until tomorrow. So no real market news or reports coming out today, but tomorrow will be the big day when we've got Jerome Powell will be speaking. So some specifics, these are earnings for today. We've got Barrick coming out, it's a gold mining company. So we've got stocks basically looking at this all green in a rally as victory is claimed. Now, in an opposite one, we've got Palantir. Now, it's been rallying significantly, and we've got executives planning to sell over $500 million of the stock. We'll see how that pressure comes in, if it actually affects it in a significant way. So we've got in the positive, analysts revising Tesla stock price prediction. And this is because basically Elon Musk being in with the Trump camp that is going to redefine things going forward. So Dogecoin, Tesla stock, we've got DJT going forward and Funware all related. Now with this, we've got green across the board. We've also got Supermicro saying that after a review, they found no evidence of fraud from the previous auditor resigning. So good news for them. They will probably recover as well. So as you can see, up across the board, cryptocurrency is a huge winner. Bitcoin all-time high. Solana also is on the board. Now the fourth most valuable cryptocurrency. So if you haven't looked into the utility of Solana, basically right here, they've got a lot of good things going for them. We've also got XRP, Ripple moving forward. So with this all, we've got some challenges still. The work is only beginning. So as he promises to stop the wars this very day, we just had airborne rangers parachuting in to do what they call exercises, practicing overtaking and wars for Asia. Basically, this is saying specifically China. The island is Palau, basically a very peaceful island, but they're practicing this in a still scaled up ramp up of these wars. We're in a war economy, so basically de-escalating could cause some headwinds there. Now you've got the United States sending bombers, warships to the Middle East, all of these in the GDP, so that will take a hit as well moving forward. However, if we can replace that with real manufacturing services, it'll be okay. Now we had the Kremlin reacting to basically no choice. We had spokesman Dmitry Peskov offering a lukewarm response. Basically, their take on it is it doesn't matter who won. Basically, there's a lot of trust damage that has happened during the current administration, and that inflation will continue. They realize that the current one that was just chosen is still very centric to the nation. It's America first, basically, and anything that happens as far as the trades will be done with these agreements in mind. However, he's already a proven strong leader, and they know they will have to contend with him. We've got India basically congratulating him. So stronger ties with India, who is large manufacturing sector of the United States, can get back Malaysia basically either away from BRICS, or an interesting thought forward is even if America goes into BRICS and does direct trade with them or makes peace in that realm, that would basically be huge. So United States currently calling on China to use their influence over Russia and North Korea because basically they're losing control rapidly. Now, with this, we've also got on the local struggle that we actually need military more back home. We've got bodies back home that we need. Community scrambling after top insurance company down in Florida and across where tornadoes just hit just yesterday and had massive destruction. Insurance companies not paying out. And when they do, we've got a new struggle, and that is banks are not cashing their checks for people. Now we've got 70% or larger being turned down now during the current issues with the floods, is what they're finding. This is massive. So if you've got all of these people literally underwater, cannot make repairs, it's going to hit the housing sector and banks not paying them back. That's going to be an issue driving forward for housing, which is a large sector of the economy. So with this, we've got bank stocks now currently also soaring because basically they're expecting to get away with more shenanigans, if you will, in the background. They're expecting less regulation, and so they can continue. Well, we've got the large banks, basically JP Morgan, Chase that we're talking about. We've got Goldman Sachs still and Wells Fargo operating outside of the system. They're driving everything, and the smaller banks are really the losers here, still going to be merged or basically close out. Now, with this real economy still struggling largely, so we've got Walmart and other large US retailers. They're purchasing and importing fewer Christmas goods because they understand and have already done their homework. The United States consumer is largely down, out of savings, inflated away their current paychecks. So this is a serious issue that is going to be faced through this retail season, and we're not going to see the effects until spring of next year. There is only one way out of this, temporarily or even long run, basically, is to print. So if they can't cut back in time, they're going to basically print their way out of it. That means inflation. So on this inflation trade that is on, get out of cash. Cash now is a serious threat. So with this, they're saying stock market likely will get 2 more Fed rate cuts in 2024. Wednesday likely one. I don't know about a second one. They've already priced in quarter-point rate cut. With this, we've got cryptocurrency Dogecoin up. This is positive news. Internet computer cross-chain protocol usage up 13 times amid the Bitcoin DeFi boom. Now, this basically means that decentralized cryptocoin exchanges are up. People are adopting these as the methods become easier, more widespread. People can decentralize and get out of these banks, get out of the banks that are failing them, hold your own keys, basically, get your own assets, convert your cash into cryptocurrencies if you're open to that, if not precious metals. Now, this boom across the board is basically going to pressure metals prices down a bit. This is buying opportunity. This is silver rounds, bullion you can purchase. Copper rounds and bullion you can purchase if you can't afford gold. Now, I've had a lot of people say gold is basically they're priced out of it already. So savings in cash are going to get hit. 401ks going to get hit in the long run. Look at diversifying out of these as much as possible. There's other assets you can get if you're well off. If you've already stacked quite a bit, you can diversify out into fine art, classic cars. Some people do many other things. However, as basic structure, get some of these to start with. Okay, so just not financial advice, very basics to start with. Get out of banks, get out of cash if you can, only what you need, and don't keep the cash that you do have in banks. So with this, wish you all a wonderful day. We'll be with you further on, and just green on all your trades if you're doing that. And until I see you again, my friends, stay free.